Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for February 8th of 2025 is titled A Conjunction of Crescents. So what do we see here? Well, here we see an image taken February 1st, so just about a week ago. And there we see two crescent shapes in the sky. And they are actually two different objects. One to the lower left is, of course, our moon, a very thin young crescent moon, only a few days old. And that is from the time of new moon. That's about how illuminated the moon will be after just about 3 days. The other object up to the upper right, much smaller there, is the planet Venus. Venus also shows different phases and goes through phases just like our moon. And in fact, any planet interior to Earth will go through phases. So we would see the same thing with Venus and Mercury as well as our moon. Now, outer planets will not go through phases as seen from Earth because they are always more distant from the sun than Earth. Now we see Venus going through phases, and that was actually a very important discovery hundreds of years ago, because the fact that Venus goes through a complete cycle of phases and shows all of the phases just like our moon meant that Venus had to orbit the sun. And there was no way Venus could orbit the Earth and go through that complete cycle of phases. And when Galileo saw this back in the early 1600s with his telescope, then you could really determine for the first time that at least one planet had to orbit the sun. Now, did that mean that Earth had to orbit the sun? Not necessarily, but it did show that not everything orbited the Earth and was a big step in our understanding of Earth's position in the solar system and in the universe. That we were not necessarily the center of everything. And some of the observations, such as the crescent phase here of Venus, were a big step along the way of helping us to better understand that. Now, this is called the conjunction because the two are close together in the sky. You can see the size of the moon and see that there are only a couple of moon diameters, only a degree or so apart in the sky. The moon is about half a degree in diameter, so only a degree or so separated these two. And that's what we call a conjunction, when two astronomical objects are relatively close to one another in the sky. Now, if they are perfectly lined up, then you can get an occultation, which would not occur at this point. But an occultation occurs when the nearby object, in this case our moon, passes in front of the more distant object. And that also can happen, but did not happen in this case, but did give us two very prominent crescents in the sky. So that was our picture of the day for February 8th of 2025. It was titled A Conjunction of Crescents. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Southern Skyscape. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.